Hi, book fanatics. Welcome to Books and Biographies 101. My name is Mishak Mahai, aka The Bookworm. And if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button so that you continue to get good food for thought. So today's review is on a book which is a biography for Mother Teresa. From what I've read from this book, I can clearly tell you that Mother Teresa deserves to be called the mother of the world and also a true saint, regardless of the controversies or critics that were raised in this book. It comes with no surprise at what Mother Teresa did to the world because she was raised in a family that cared for the poor, more especially her mother, who continued to care for the poor and the sick with the little that she makes, regardless of her situation as a single mother. So Mother Teresa, whose real name is Agnes Concha Bujashu, was raised in a family that put God first, and throughout her younger age, she was a person who contributed in a lot of activities in her church, which was Roman Catholic Church. When she was about 18 years of age, she received what she called her first calling from God, which was to join the nuns, which is a group or a community of women under the Roman Catholic Church who lived under the vows of poverty, of chastity, which is abstinence from sex, and of obedience, which is compliance to the orders. They referred themselves as wives of Jesus. She joined a congregation of nuns known as Loreto Sisters, and she changed her name to Sister Teresa as it was a culture to do so. And there she continued learning and later became an English and geography teacher at the Loreto Sister Schools, which was for the poor and the middle-aged kids. Her students used to call her Mother Teresa because she was not just a teacher for them, she was also making sure that they were clean and in good health, and also making a good monitoring of their daily meals. So she taught at Loreto Sister Schools, which was in Calcutta in India, for about a period of 10 years, which includes a time of the Second World War and the riots of the Muslims and the Hindus, which was a very ugly period where people decided to leave out of Calcutta, including some of the Loreto sisters, because the situation was so bad to an extent that people were dying like chickens on the streets. So Mother Teresa remained in Calcutta taking care of the poor children. And after the situations, Mother Teresa got sick and she was summoned to go back to Dijeli to the other sisters so that she can get some rest and also revive her spirit. On the train to Dijeli, she encountered what she referred to as the second calling from God, which was to help and serve the poorest of the poor. The idea was to go to the slums of Calcutta, and to do so was against the orders of the Loreto sisters, of which they had the restricted movements. So she requested permission to leave the Loreto order in order to start her own congregation, which was going to help the poorest of the poor in the slums, and also take a special vow, which is charity for the poor, in addition to the vows of the nuns. The process of her getting permission took over a year, and with the little health training that she got, she was then allowed to go to the slums of Calcutta, where she started alone right from the bottom by opening schools for the poor children. She later got an opportunity of renting 2 small rooms, of which one served as a classroom and the other served as an accommodation for the sick and the dying who were found around the area of Calcutta slums. So in the morning, she was teaching the children and making sure that they were clean and in good health. And in the afternoon, she was taking care of the sick and the dying who were found around the streets of Calcutta. She was later joined by other girls in her congregation, which was now called Missionaries of Charity. And the struggle continued, whereby they were asking for food, for donations of money and clothes, and also medications to take care of the poor. And with the help of those donations and also the help of the person she referred to as her spiritual advisor, whom she was called Father Exam, they managed to buy a proper house in Calcutta, which was called Mother House, which was meant to accommodate a growing number of the nuns in the charity. So they were working on the educational programs for the poor children around Calcutta. They were also offering nutritional daycares, offering shelters for the homeless, the crippled, and the mentally disabled who were found around the area of Calcutta. They were also giving care for the sick and dying found around the area of Calcutta, and also giving them medication. So through thick and thin, they stick to their vow of charity for the poor. Their first great milestone was the opening of a place called Nimalhide, which was known as the place for the extremely sick and the dying. So Mother Teresa was well motivated to open the place because she was in a situation whereby she met a woman who was extremely sick in the streets, and part of her face was even eaten by rats. So Mother Teresa, along with the nun who was working with her, they took the woman to the hospital, closer hospital, whereby to their surprise the woman was rejected because she was considered poor and unable to pay the fees. So the woman died in Mother Teresa's hands, and it was also a common experience to see people dying along the streets of Calcutta slums. So Mother Teresa opened Nimalhide to accommodate those extremely sick and dying so that they can die in peace, and those who are sick and able to recover so that they can recover. So the place raised a lot of controversies and criticisms because it was closer to the Hindu temple, whereby the Hindus thought maybe Mother Teresa wanted to attract attention of Hindus to the Christianity. And also the community around the area was afraid of sicknesses, to attracting sicknesses. But later on they understood the purpose of the building. The second great milestone was the opening of a place known as Shiju Bhavan, commonly known as the home for the abandoned infants and the crippled children. So Mother Teresa and the nuns were motivated to open this place because there was an increasing rate of children being abandoned by poor families and homeless women. So there was a high rate of infants found in the trash cans, and also others found to be dying on the streets. To an extent that within few days of opening Shiju Bhavan, 90 infants were already in their possession. So Mother Teresa sent letters to hospitals and clinics to let them know that for every woman who doesn't want to keep their children, they should bring them to Shiju Bhavan. So Shiju Bhavan was serving as some sort of a foster care center where people who were able to take care of the kids were allowed to adopt them. Mother Teresa was totally against the issue of abortion, and she also offered some sort of family planning whereby women were advised on how to avoid pregnancy. But she was also against the use of contraceptives. So they're solely dependent on ovulation tracking and also abstaining from sexual intercourse, of which it raised a lot of controversies which are to be discussed later. So Mother Teresa and the nuns were depending on donations of which they had to raise in order to maintain their missionary of charity, and also dependent on the faith that God will provide them with everything that they want. At that stage, Mother Teresa and the missionaries of charity was gaining a lot of recognition and support from people from all over India. So their third milestone was building a place known as Shantanagar, which was commonly known as the home for people who were suffering from leprosy. At first, Mother Teresa avoided admitting people who were suffering from leprosy at Nimalhide because a lot of people had social stigma against leprosy. And besides, leprosy is a very deadly disease that anyone wouldn't want to have. So there was a growing demand of people suffering from leprosy who wanted care more especially since the clinic that was specializing in treatment of leprosy in the city closed down. And Mother Teresa and the sisters started by using mobile ambulances in saving people who were suffering from leprosy, and later built Shantanaga, which was meant for saving and taking care of people who were suffering from leprosy. Mother Teresa also proposed the opening of missionaries of charities for the brothers, since the sisters were having a bit of difficulty in grooming the boys, and the missionary was opened using the very same objectives as the missionary of charity, but operating on the boys. Mother Teresa's work and the missionaries of charity kept on expanding out of Calcutta to the rest of India, and within 25 years, it was known throughout the world about the missionaries of charity and the work of Mother Teresa. The donations were very high because people were impressed with Mother Teresa's work and the charity work. Mother Teresa became the new face known in the common news, the radios, the newspaper headlines because of her work. And she was also awarded a lot of prestigious awards, which also include the highest honor award in the world, which is Nobel Prize of Peace. During the process, Mother Teresa was heavily criticized on several accounts, including the saying that she was not concerned with people dying at Nimalhide. She was not giving people adequate treatment for their sicknesses, and also for the states of their facility, it was not adequate for the sick people. And for the fact that she was against the issue of abortion and the use of contraceptives for family planning and population control. And for the fact that she denied to give people the financial statements of the charity, and also that she was receiving donations from people who were considered to be politically corrupt. Some of the controversies include that Mother Teresa was promoting church instead of the charity, and books and films were made, such as the film called Hell's Angel, were made to put Mother Teresa as some sort of a person who is an evil person. And throughout all the criticisms and controversies, Mother Teresa didn't lose courage. She kept courage and maintaining the success of the charity. Although she was a bit stubborn and having a sense of dictatorship in the charity, in overall, Mother Teresa's work was very special in the world, and more especially for the poorest of the poor. After the age of 80, she was growing a bit older, and she had multiple accounts of heart attack and bone fractures as she was falling from stairs and beds multiple times. And she was also diagnosed of pneumonia and malaria, and she eventually died in 1997. She had a very honored funeral, like the two greatest leaders of India, which is Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. Multiple documentaries and movies were made about Mother Teresa's life and the missionaries of charity. And also over 20 books were written about the life of Mother Teresa. 9 years after her death, she was canonized as a saint, which is a way of Christians, more especially the Roman Catholics, of honoring a person as being holy and being in heaven after death, which is a very great and deserving title for Mother Teresa because of what she did to the poor of the world, and also for her obedience to God's callings. Some of the things she used to say was that she was not helping poor people because she was having some sort of sympathy for the poor people, but rather because she was obeying the calling from God. And the second thing is that she sees everyone as Jesus Christ and treats everyone as Jesus Christ, not as if it were Jesus Christ. And she also stated clearly that the missionaries of charity are not social workers, are not teachers, are not nurses, are not doctors, but they are people working for God. So in this case, we cannot expect missionaries of charity to be working like professionals. So the overall philosophy in this biography is that becoming a great person comes with great responsibilities. And the more you become great in what you do, people will always try to find your weak point or your flaws in order to destroy you. So you need enough courage to withstand beyond the criticisms. If you like today's video, hit that thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about Mother Teresa. Share the video with friends and family in order to bring some light into their lives. And don't forget to press that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. And press that post notification bell so that you get informed whenever I post and probably be the first to see my videos. And please find the link below in the description for the PDF version of the book if you're interested in the book. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video coming soon. Peace out.